from Delhi. Hope you are fine and ready to join this session. Again, uh, in last week, I scheduled two YouTube sessions for you, okay? And at least one YouTube session will be always there on Sunday by 8 p.m. But last week, I planned two. So, depending upon contemporary news, I will be scheduling YouTube classes for your benefit. Okay, so you can see today our topic of discussion is globalization and monetary policy. Clear? So let's begin our session of today. Uh, Anybody having any doubt is free to ask it. I am there to take your query. This is the subject matter of discussion today. Okay, and like every other day, today also I would like to give you very specific idea about this topic. Though this topic is a bit complicated, to understand the discussion of today, you need some basic understanding of globalization and monetary policy. But even those ones who have no idea about these two things, I will try to make them also at ease in today's session. Welcome, Gopichand. Very good evening. I hope I am audible because the last session, some of you reported some audio issue. So, hope today there is no audio issue. What do you say? Am I audible to all of you? Please give some feedback. Gopichand, hope I am audible. Anyway, if you face any trouble in audio, please let me know. Okay? So, in this session, I will be trying to give you ideas which can prepare you for prelim exam, main exam, and interview. If some questions are asked linking globalization to monetary policy. Clear? So let's begin. First thing first. Okay? The first thing which you need to know what exactly globalization is. Okay? And you know it well. I hope so. But even then, I will give you from my side some knowledge. When we use the term globalization in economics or Indian economy, what exactly we mean? Okay? So simply put, as per the World Trade Organization, the very guardian of official globalization, according to WTO, what exactly is globalization? So, not going into the technicalities of definition, to simplify it, we can say this is nothing. Globalization is a process. It is a process under which, under which unrestricted, unrestricted, unrestricted cross-border, cross-border movement of, movement of goods and services, finance, and labor. Labor is promoted, promoted among, among the member nations. Just mind it. Goods and services, finance and labor. Officially put, this is what globalization is. Okay? Goods and services means ki products made in one country will be moving to another. Services manufactured in one country will be produced in one country, will be flowing to another without any restriction. Same thing about finance. Our discussion of today is related to finance. That can be also termed as capital. You can also call it investment. Okay? And then the third element is labor. It means that those who are members of WTO, they won't be differentiating between domestic goods and services and foreign goods and services, domestic investment and foreign investment, domestic labor force and foreign labor force. Okay? This is to the extent globalization as a concept is concerned according to World Trade Organization. Clear? Now the good thing is that in this, finance is the topic of our importance today. How this is also known as free movement, free movement of foreign capital. It means कि suppose in India, India is member of WTO, so suppose one sector India's company can invest, but the rules, regulations which will be applying on Indian investor, similar rules and regulations will be applying on foreign investors. Getting me? But in reality, no country had been able to do it with perfection. So one country is better than another, another is inferior than the former. Clear? But every country under the process of globalization is promoting flow of products, that is goods and services, freely, flow of finance, that is investment and capital, freely, and labor force freely. This was put in pipeline. This will be done in future. Member nations of WTO agreed, first let us begin here and here. Okay? So in name of globalization, you see in India also foreign goods and services are easily available across the country. Similarly, almost every sector of economy is open for foreign investment. Clear? Ab, this is the subject matter of today's class. That is the second subtitle you can see here. Movement of capital and finance. Under globalization, foreign investments started. Foreign investment started flowing more freely, more freely. Okay? Though foreign investment might come in diversity of currencies, but for sake of example, I will tell you, if foreign investment, take for example in India, I saw symbol of US dollar. It doesn't mean only US dollar, but I mean any foreign investment that is coming to India, let us show it with symbol of American currency dollar. Clear? It means in India, foreign capital will be inflowing. Foreign capital will be inflowing much freely, much freely. So when foreign capital will flow much freely, so what will happen? In your foreign exchange market, the market between foreign currencies are traded against local currency rupee. In your foreign exchange market, supply of dollar will go up. Is it clear to you? Anybody having any doubt? So suppose कि whatever currency your foreign exchange market has, it will change because foreign currency will start flowing much freely. So availability of foreign currency will go up. This will create a pressure on rupee because when foreign currency goes up, it will put it will put pressure it will put pressure on our currency, that is rupee. Clear? So what will happen? Ki suppose dollar is counterbalancing rupee. When supply of dollar goes up and supply of rupee remains same, the rupee will start appreciating. It will start appreciating. Its value will go up. It means ki hitherto if one American dollar was is equal to 80 rupees, it will become 79, 78, 77, 76. This is appreciation due to supply of more foreign currency. To give rupee, if rupee appreciates, your export will fall. Your import will get cheaper, but your export will fall down because Indian exports will become costlier for the global customers. So looking at this, what RBI will do? In this scenario, RBI will increase increase flow of rupee. When RBI flows increase of rupee, it will basically derail. It will derail its monetary policy. Monetary policy. Is it clear to you? Just tell me. Because monetary policy targets a particular amount of rupee to flow in the system. Due to foreign fund, RBI needed to modify the very size of rupee in India's economy. If you increase supply of rupee in the system, you will face inflation. When you face inflation, loans will get cheaper. Banks will be forced to lend more. See how these things are interconnected. Okay? अब in opposite case, suppose due to some reason foreign fund flow is going down and down. This time round, supply of dollar will go down. This time round, supply of dollar in India's foreign exchange market will go down and rupee will start this time depreciating. Depreciating. When rupee depreciates, you will export more provided you have got customers, but your import cost will rise. So to put foreign exchange market out of volatility, this time RBI will decrease flow of rupee in the system. Again, it will derail its monetary policy. Clear? By decreasing flow of supply in the system, inflation will go down, and so lending activities will go down, investment will go down, and ultimately India's national income will go down. What I actually wanted to let you feel, actually, due to globalization, foreign funds can flow much freely to all member countries, which might be occurring in case of India also. Due to this, RBI's control on monetary policy declines and it's get diluted. This is the point, and this is the interconnection between globalization and movement of capital and finance. Come to the next page. Next page, I am writing the title Monetary Independence. We can say it thus the independence, thus the independence of the RBI, Reserve Bank of India, which is which announces and frames India's monetary policy. Thus, the independence of the RBI designing on design of monetary policy, monetary policy gets gets diluted, which is also called कि central bank's autonomy on monetary policy has weakened due to the process of globalization. This is correct, okay? Because the kind of monetary policy you want to make, you are not able to make. If you are going to announce a particular kind of monetary policy, okay, you can announce. But soon, due to more inflow of foreign investment or lesser inflows of foreign investment, your control on monetary policy will get diluted. And you need to fine tune your monetary policy according to global environment and changing attitudes of foreign investors. Clear? And if you ask me what exactly in one line monetary policy is, okay? In one line, what exactly a monetary policy is? The simply put, monetary policy in one line is aimed at is aimed at right sizing, right sizing and right costing, right costing, fund in the system, fund in the economy or financial system. You can say anything. It means how much money Indian economy needs at what cost. Cost means interest. This is the main thing which is done by RBI under its monetary policy. When due to flow of foreign fund, your size is getting changed and cost is getting changed. It means globalization which has made the movement of foreign fund flow very freely. It has disturbed autonomous decision-making power of central banks of world, including our RBI, to decide the size of fund and cost of fund in the system. Okay? That is why we say that globalization looks very good because India kind of country which needs more investment capital, it comes out of globalization. But it creates many challenges also. One challenge is on the front of monetary policy. Okay? No, basically, Devanshu, I will come to your question. Don't worry. But first, let me clear this thing. Then I will come to your question. Okay? So, what I was saying, ki India kind of country needs foreign investment. Globalization has made it easier to get more foreign fund. It is good. But due to increase in inflow and decrease in inflow, you lose control on size of fund and cost of fund. This derails your monetary policy. This is the main interconnection. Related to this, there is a complex idea that is known as Mundell Mundell-Fleming model, that is known as impossible trinity. Two economists, Mundell and Fleming, developed an idea in 1960s. This idea developed over the years, which says basically what is impossible trinity. So as countries of world get more closer and closer, as countries of world interact more and more with each other, three challenges countries will face. Okay, there are three trinities basically. The first is that okay, a country wants to have basically free, free capital flows, capital flows. The second challenge is basically fixed. Fixed here means a stable exchange rate. And third challenge is, let me write it here. I think due to my presence, you are not able to read this thing which I am writing here. So second is basically fixed or stable, a stable exchange rate for currency, exchange rate. And the third challenge is basically, third and the last challenge is independent, independent monetary policy. Actually, this was guessed in 1960s itself when the world was going for first generation, or better say second generation of globalization in the world. WTO was not there. So these two economists articulated an idea. Actually, it is not possible. If a country allows free investment to its country, so it won't be having all three together. Either it will have this or this or this. Why? Because free capital flow derails exchange rate. To stabilize exchange rate, central banks of country has to run to change its monetary policy. It means that these three achievements are not possible at a time. You will miss on any one front. You can have this and this, then you will miss this. If you want to have this, then you will lose this. You might have this. This is known as impossible trinity. The question is that how central banks of world has managed, how central banks of world have managed to manage the crisis here on this front or on this front or this front. Okay, this was most visible during subprime crisis of USA, because due to subprime crisis and Northern America, Europe, when they got with recession, hit with recession, so recession is fall in demand. To increase demand, central banks in America and Europe started cutting interest rate, offering money at very cheap interest rate. Few countries went into negative interest zone. Imagine giving loan in negative interest rate. Clear? To support demand. So dollar was available in American economy as much. It started flowing to India and other countries also. It started creating problem on our exchange rate of rupee and independence of monetary policy also. When foreign investors started withdrawing investment from India, so it was hitting India another way around. India's exchange rate got disturbed and independence of RBI on framing its monetary policy started getting diluted. Okay? Because if America prints more dollar, the more dollar flows to us. When American economy becomes more attractive for investment, the American investor start withdrawing money from India and taking away back home. In such uncertainties, due to these uncertainties, neither we have a stable foreign capital flow, nor we have a stable exchange rate of rupee, nor we have independence on our monetary policy. Because by the time you are trying to do something here, you lose control on this. By the time you are managing here, you are losing control on this. And all three you won't be able to achieve. Clear? What is way out? Has some solution been put in place? Yes. Some arrangement was done. Actually, in 2011-12, India put a request to America, IMF, and Bank of International Settlement, BIS. Okay, IMF and BIS. This is based in Basel. You might have heard its name. Okay, Basel based bank, BIS. In this regard, some arrangements should be made. India has private interaction with US government also. Okay, actually, if US government changes its monetary policy, it has direct bearing on India and other developing countries. So what USA can do? USA can basically inform, or you can call indicate other stakeholders that certain changes are going to take place. Since then, you will say if Federal Reserve Board of USA, that is Central Bank of USA, FRB of USA, before increasing interest rate or decreasing interest rate, they basically start giving press release. कि suppose we are in January, suppose कि in March, American Central Bank is going to cut interest rate. So they announce it today so that India kind of countries can plan accordingly. When interest rate will be cut down in USA, the foreign flow will be flowing to you, but less than today. So your rupee will be getting under pressure and it will start depreciating, which you saw in past several months. Rupee has been depreciating very fast. Why? Because in America, interest rate has been increased. Due to increase in interest rate, dollar supply is getting lower and lower, and American investors which have invested in Indian economy, they are now getting more lucrative investment opportunities back home. So they are withdrawing investment from Indian economy and taking money back to USA because they are getting more stable environment there, political, social, as well as interest income might not be as good as India. So what foreign investors from America start doing, they start withdrawing investment from India and they take back it home, USA. So what is happening since then? After 2008-9, American central banks gives a hint much before interest rate change. Okay, much before interest rates are changed by Central Bank of America, upward movement or downward movement, a hint is given to world. Accordingly, our kind of countries start changing their policies, macro management, so that if really the day American Central Bank either increases interest rate or decreases interest rate, there is no high volatility in our foreign exchange market. This is what is done today. It means that there is no permanent solution for this. You might be thinking when IMF is there, why IMF has not put some arrangement in place. The IMF, when it was set up, it was not given any such power. That is why a move is there. Let us reform IMF. And India is a major, you can say, lobby, which is putting pressure on global governments. IMF was made and created for a different time. After globalization, certain external variables have changed. So that IMF remains valid still in such turbulent times, let us make some mechanism inside IMF which is able to take care of such volatility. Okay? This is all about today's session. What I wanted to say, I want to conclude in few lines. Globalization and monetary policy, what is connection? So globalization has made foreign investment flow from one to another country much freely. That is good. Because if one country has more capital, another has less capital, so capital and investment can move from investments capital surplus country to capital scarce country, for example, from USA to India. It is good because you get investment capital. But the main problem which it creates problem for exchange rate of local currency, that is in case of India rupee. Not only this, in process of stabilizing exchange rate of rupee, RBI needs to modify its monetary policy, and that is why its control and independence in framing monetary policy gets diluted. This is in one line. This is intricate thing, but very interesting. And you can call if any one problem which globalization has created that is of technical kind, that is this challenge. As much autonomy, as much independence every country's central banks used to have on framing its monetary policy, that independence and autonomy is no more there. As if RBI is not making monetary policy according to India's requirement. It has to keep in mind changing foreign dynamics also. If America increases interest rate, we need to increase interest rate. If America decreases interest rate, we need to decrease interest rate. As if we are a kind of colony of America's financial policy. This is a kind of financial capture. Clear? Now I come to Devanshu's question. Devanshu Raghuvanshi asked me, sir, we rarely talk about RBI printing new currency to increase supply of rupee in economy. What are the conditions when RBI can print new currency and how much amount can RBI print this way? One question. Another question. Do we study concepts like FDI, FPI, FII under this topic only? Yes, Devanshu, you are correct. Now see, actually, Devanshu simply wants to know कि does RBI print currency? Okay, printing currency in India. Whether India needs to print currency, who who knows that first? Okay, who knows that first? कि we need more currency to be printed. It is RBI because such data are available with RBI only. But RBI doesn't decide to print money. The decision is taken by Government of India. RBI says we are going to face a scarcity of this much thousand or this much lakh crore rupee. They forward their advice to Government of India. Cabinet Committee of Government of India decide yes, this much money should be printed. Then only RBI channelizes its resources and fresh currency notes are printed. Okay, but you are having wrong information. India has been printing currency on regular basis, but not as much it is printed in developed world because their compulsions are different from our compulsions. But Government of India has been printing currency. When you print currency, when you are facing a scarcity of fund, okay, this is the situation. A scarcity of fund is met by income also. Government earn income through taxes, penalties, etc. Government can borrow also. Government can take loan. But at the end of the day, suppose ki even after borrowing loans and your income, you are not able to fill the gap of scarcity. Then you go and print money. Printing money is also called in economics as creating money. Okay. So India has been creating money and RBI is technical body which takes care of that. It doesn't mean that RBI can itself decide that I have to print currency. No, RBI calculates the mathematics and comes to know this much thousand crore rupees will be scarce. It recommends to Government of India and accordingly Government of India approves. Then RBI begins the process of printing currency and supplying in the economy. Okay. Archana Barma is asking, how do we come to know that certain amount of currency is needed to be printed? Archana, this is what RBI keeps doing. Government of India announces its union budget. According to that GDP target, its borrowing target, ultimately at the end of the day, how much money will be in short supply? Short supply. At least RBI knows this. RBI keeps calculating it. Accordingly, it advises to Government of India that we will need to print this much currency this year, and new currency notes are printed. Okay. America yield curve getting inverted in news. Is it indicate looming recession in America? Basically, not only Abhishek, inverted yield curve. For inverted yield curve, the causes are different from recession. Recession is already hit Europe and recession has already hit America as per the sources. Recession is caused by some different reasons. Okay, let me plan a session on recession and depression in coming days. Don't worry for that. Okay, anybody else having any question? Otherwise, I call it a do. What is inverted yield curve? Why it has happened in USA, Japan, and Western Europe? I will plan a separate session on it. Don't worry. Why this is so? Was it happening in India also? Yes, it was occurring in India also. Okay. So last time RBI took some steps to stop it from happening. Okay. It was done by RBI also because inverted yield curve was seen in case of India also. Why does it occur? Let us discuss these things in our next class. In the meanwhile, I have shared with all of you the link of my official Telegram group and Telegram channel. Okay, on Telegram channel you can say comments, or on in Telegram group you can advise me on which topic in next session you want to listen me, you want to hear me, and keep giving feedback on the session so that I can modify the session so that it helps you more and more in coming days. Okay? Thank you and good night.